So, Pingu. I don't think I need to go into a whole history lesson of the character. Pingu was a claymation series following the life and everyday adventures of Pingu, a young, active and playful penguin who loves playing with his friends and being with his family. It ran throughout the 90s and had a huge amount of episodes. Many people think that Pingu is British, but actually, it's Swedish. Produced by a Switzerland company called Pingu Film Studios, which was formed by Ottman Goodman in the early 1980s. The characters do not speak any form of English, instead speaking in their own penguin language referred to as Penguinese or Pinguish, consisting of babbling and muttering. This became famous for the popular memes and also for his references in his famous quote, "Newt Newt." Despite it being a Swedish production, the show became famous outside of Switzerland, with it being a huge success in the UK and Japan, explaining why many assume the character is from Britain. But you know Pingu for a lot of reasons. Childhood memories, favourite episodes, his Newt Newt noise, the episode featuring the woodpeckers from Space Music, and probably banned episodes. The show has had a handful of episodes being banned from countries and being pulled from broadcasts, due to it being deemed as too frightening, inappropriate, offensive, or violent for children to view. So, we're going to have a look at these episodes of the show and how they affected television broadcasts. Pingu's dream. Pingu falls asleep whilst his mum reads him a bedtime story. As he is sleeping, the igloo starts levitating up and down before flying away into the distance. Pingu's bed then grows a pair of legs and moves around. Although shocked by it at first, Pingu finds it to be a lot of fun. However, a creepy walrus is watching Pingu from a distance. The walrus catches up to Pingu and traps him, before playfully squishing him around and stretching him. As the bed tries to escape, the walrus takes the mattress and eats it. The walrus then scares off Pingu and the bed, causing them to run away, whilst eating the mattress. While they're running off, Pingu suddenly trips over the ledge and falls down into the mountainside. The minute he lands at the bottom, Pingu sees that the snowy mountain is actually his bed, and realises his misadventure was only a dream. Pingu then tells his mum all about it, and she consoles him. Now, I don't think you need to take a hit on the head to understand why this episode was banned. It was scary. I mean, look at the fucking walrus. That thing is nightmare fuel. I'd be shitting myself if I was watching this as a kid. The episode was banned from broadcast and distribution in the UK due to it being too scary for children. However, it was also removed from British television in 2003, but for some reason was still broadcast in the United States. It was also released on DVD in the USA and was released on Prime Video. But it hasn't been released on VHS by the BBC themselves due to the major controversy towards the episode. Before this episode was created, the walrus model first appeared in an earlier short by Ottman Goodman. Pingu runs away. Here is an episode that has one of the most iconic moments of the whole of Pingu's existence. In this episode, Pingu and his parents are eating dinner, but Pingu's not happy because he has to eat his seaweed. After intentionally ruining the dinner, getting spanked by his mother and yelled at for misbehaving, Pingu runs away from his home in tears, thinking that his parents don't love him. Pingu then sees scary carvings and becomes scared after he realises just how scary it is at night. So he hides himself in a cave. His parents, unhappy with how they treated Pingu, comes looking for him. They then find him in a cave frightened, where they apologise to him and then take him home. This episode was placed under an unofficial ban from broadcast or video distribution due to Pingu's mother spanking him and Pingu running away from his house. The episode also featured some scary looking monsters which had frightened a lot of younger viewers. It was also removed from British television in 2005 and was one of the few episodes that were pulled, and later banned from all future American airings due to offensive and creepy elements in the episode. It was still released on DVD in the US and on Prime Video. Little Accidents, or Pingu's Lavatory story. After finishing his lunch, Pingu goes to a pub to get a drink. Pingu, his little sister, follows him there and asks if she can have a drink as well. Pingu buys her too, but when she drinks them, she accidentally pisses on the ground. Pingu quickly sends her home and she makes it just in time to use the toilet. Pingu then drinks too much and he needs to go to the toilet as well. The bartender tells him he cannot urinate in his pub so Pingu rushes back home as fast as he can, but when he gets there, his father beats him to the bathroom. He tries to use Pingu's potty instead, which his mother's not happy with. Pingu rushes outside and rings the doorbell so that his father has to come out and answer it, allowing him to make a run for the bathroom. However, he urinates on the floor because the toilet's too high for him. When he has finished cleaning up the mess, Pingu tries to go to the toilet using a pair of stilts. His mother comes in and tells him not to, but Pingu explains to her that he was only doing it because he could not reach the toilet. His mother suggests that they build some steps for him out of snow. They do that and Pingu is finally able to use the toilet. Due to this episode's focus on uncensored urination, toilet humour, and viewers thinking that there was apparently alcohol references within the episode, it had been banned from TV broadcast and home video releases throughout much of the world to this very day. However, Japan, United Kingdom, Canada and Brazil are the only exceptions, and it is still available on Amazon Prime Video in the States. The BBC broadcasts and VHS releases of this episode shortened the scenes of Pingu urinating on the floor, thus leaving out the scene of Pingu looking at his father. Pingu and the doll. Pingu is pretending to be a Native American by having his teddy bear being pinned to a piece of wood and dancing around it. But he later on does not think it is good enough, so when he sees Pingu's teddy bear, he tries to get it instead. Using the rope he had with him, Pingu lassos the teddy, but Pingu sees it right away and tries to hold it back, which results in the teddy's leg being turned off. Pristine for revenge, Pingu breaks the sail of Pingu's toy boat and then runs to their mum. Pingu and Pingu argue in front of her about who is to blame. Eventually, mother sides with Pingu on the matter, causing Pingu to go outside feeling mostly remorseful for his actions. The mother soon stitches the leg back on. Pingu is very happy, but Pingu still regrets being mean. Then he sees that his little sister is also happy because of the lollipop that their mum gave her. Pingu witnesses this and feels that he would like a lollipop too to make him even with Pingu. So he rips the leg off his own teddy and takes it to his mother. As soon as she has sewn the teddy's leg back on, Pingu asks his mum for a lollipop. His mother, seeing through Pingu's plan, chuckles and fetches him a lolly. Pingu then rushes back outside to Pingu and the two young penguins lick happily on their lollipops. This episode was banned throughout most of North America due to Pingu stereotyping a Native American. For the same reason, this episode was also banned in Japan due to the portrayal of Native Americans. The ban has most likely been lifted, however, since it is available for streaming on Amazon Prime Video in the US. Pingu quarrels with his mother. Pingu is outside the igloo cutting wood for a fire. Pingu comes by carrying a ball and asks Pingu if he'd like to come and play. Pingu goes in to ask his mum, who is ironing. When he is denied, Pingu starts to argue with her. After a short discussion, Pingu goes back outside and tells Pingu the answer. Pingu goes off and Pingu angrily goes back to chopping wood. After a while, Pingu goes to ask his mum, who has finished ironing. Again, when he is still denied, he starts to argue with her some more. Pingu angrily leaves, sticking his tongue out at her, and starts moving the wood he has cut into the igloo, angrily stacking it by the fireplace. His mother cooks dinner. Pingu goes back out for another load of wood, but not without looting rudely at his mother. He decides he'd rather go and play, so he sneaks off. He meets up with Pingu and joins in with what he's doing. His mum comes and fetches him back and stands over him while he loads more wood and takes it into the igloo. She follows him, shutting the door behind her. Pingu angrily strews the wood all over the floor, hurting his foot in the process. The mum is not happy and orders Pingu to clean up the mess he just made, so Pingu angrily kicks the table, breaking the fruit bowl and hurting his other foot even more. His mother then smacks him in the face, causing Pingu to run into the bedroom crying, leaving his mum feeling a great amount of regret over what she did. At the dinner table, the mum tells the dad what happened. When his dad enters the bedroom, Pingu is nowhere to be found and the open window suggests that he has fled. The family stands outside the house calling for him. His mother and his father return to the table, but they do not have an appetite to eat as they're worried about Pingu. Pingu gets an idea and goes to look in the wardrobe, where they find Pingu sound asleep. Upon waking, Pingu is greeted with a warm embrace from his mum. The scene where Pingu's mother slaps him on the face was cut out on BBC airings and VHS releases. This episode was also removed from most American airings because of the said scene. However, it did air on Cartoon Network as a part of the Small World block in the US. Quite too far what Pingu's mom did to him compared to the previous episode where he got a spanking. Pingu's first kiss. Pingu and his friends Ping, Pingo and Pongji are doing some tricks on skates when his girlfriend Pinji comes along. Pingu greets her by kissing her on her hand, and all the other three tease him about it. Annoyed, Pingu tries to show them he is not a softie and then impresses them all with the best ice jump they have ever seen. Pinji applauds and suggests to Pingu that they go off together, but Pingu's friends want him to stay with them. Pinji goes off, but Pingu is not sure what to do. He goes back to his friends, but then pretends to go home, and while Pingu tries a new trick with the other two watching him, he sneaks off to join Pinji. Together, Pingu and Pinji do some ice skate dances. Then they try to have their first kiss, but Pingu's friends keep skating up behind them. Pingu and Pinji skate away from them and soon manage to hide from them behind a pillar of ice. Pingu, Ping and Pongji skate right past them. Pingu and Pinji finally manage to have their first kiss. The friends soon find them and Pingu and Pinji impress them with some more of their skate moves. This episode was banned and removed from the US broadcast due to the kiss being claimed as too inappropriate for children. However, other countries were alright with the episode being broadcast, including the UK. Pingu at the doctor's. While their mum has gone out to get shopping, Pingu and Pinga decide to play as being dentists. However, when Pingu gets the hammer and she is out to check on Pinga's teeth, she runs away and he chases her around the igloo. During their chase, a table gets knocked over and Pingu runs into it, hurting his beak and causing it to bleed. Pinga bandages it up and takes him to see the doctor. Because of the age differences, the doctor thinks that Pinga is the patient and takes her inside. She then explains to the doctor that she has brought her big brother to see him, so the doctor takes Pingu into his surgery straight away. The doctor takes a bandage off of Pingu's beak and readies his dental tools, but Pingu is terrified at sight of them and runs away. Pinga and the doctor chase him around the surgery until Pingu runs back inside and locks the door behind him. This makes the patients laugh to see the doctor grumbling over being locked out of his own surgery. Pingu then rings up his mother to come and be with him. Luckily, his mother has just come back home and drives to the doctor's as quickly as she can. She then tells him she is there and Pingu unlocks the door, jumping into her wings. Then Pingu sits back down in the dentist's chair and Mother stands behind him with her wing on his shoulder to keep him company. While Pinga, meanwhile, looks at the skeleton of a penguin and blows a raspberry at it. The doctor cleans up Pingu's beak and puts a brace on it so it lets it heal for a few days. Whilst this is going on, Pinga asks for her beak to be checked too, but the doctor just gives her a lollipop to keep her quiet. She then tries again, to which the doctor just shoves another lolly into her mouth. Pinga kindly cleans the lollipop for Pingu and gives it to him just so they can then leave and go back home. This episode was placed under an unofficial ban from broadcast or video distribution, except from the UK and US. Due to seeing real blood in the episode, this is the only episode to get banned in Poland also. Hello Pingu. Pingu and his family are eating lunch. Pingu eats in a rather rude way, smashing his fork so he can scoop up his potatoes, blowing bubbles in his milk, and sticking his entire fish in his mouth. He soon leaves to play with his toys, but his father forbids him from leaving until he eats his greens. So Pingu sucks them up through his straw, rushes to the bathroom and spits the greens into the toilet. After he is excused, Pingu climbs into the toy box and finds his red ball inside. He asks his dad to inflate it for him, so he fetches the pump and does it for him. Pingu finally goes outside with his ball, but then sets it down and goes back inside to blow his nose. Whilst Pingu is gone, Pingu and Ping find his ball and run away with it. Pingu returns and chases after him, trying to retrieve his ball. He eventually finds him tossing it back and forth. After some fighting which led to Pingu tripping over his ball and bursting it, he runs home as Pingu and Ping chuck the snowballs at him. His mother bandages Pingu up and his dad fixes his ball. Pingu finishes the day by resting in his hammock. The scenes in this episode where Ping smacks Pingu on the head and Pingu makes Pingu trip over his ball were removed from BBC broadcast and VHS releases. This later led to the episode being pulled from UK television altogether. Whilst it aired in the United States during its run on Cartoon Network, it did not air in that country afterwards. Pingu looks after the egg. This episode is well known for the woodpeckers and space music. Pingu's mother trusts him to look after the egg, whilst she helps his father hang up the laundry, which they usually don't wear. At first Pingu is happy to help, but he soon gets bored and starts dancing to music on his record player. While he is dancing, the egg grows legs and starts walking around the room. Pingu notices this and tries to get a hold of the egg before his parents find out, trashing the igloo in the process. Pingu's parents eventually notice the commotion and run inside to help. His dad catches the egg and his mother finds Pingu hiding in the cupboard. After that, his parents punish him. Luckily for Pingu, his mother forgives him. His mother and Pingu clean up the igloo and his father knits him a hat. On the BBC VHS release of this episode and later CBeebies reruns, this scene where Pingu hides in the cupboard was removed completely due to it unintentionally mirroring a self-harm attempt. What? I don't fucking think that even counts as self-harm, but okay. Jealousy. Pingu, Pinga and their mother are having a quiet day inside. Pingu is building towers with blocks, but they keep falling down, much to his dismay. Meanwhile, mother lays Pinga down in her cradle and rocks her to sleep. Pingu goes to his mother for help with his bricks, but she is too busy knitting clothing for Pinga. When Pingu goes over to Pinga, she wakes up and begins to cry. Mother comforts her and plays with her, much to Pingu's annoyance. Pingu desperately tries to get attention by acting like a baby, jumping up and down on Pinga's bed, putting the chamber pot on his head and banging it with a spoon, wearing the bed sheets on his head and pretending to be sick. Mother ignores him and just keeps playing with Pinga. Pingu eventually gives up and climbs into the toy box, feeling miserable. Realising how sad she has made Pingu, Mum apologises and hugs him, and he falls asleep with Pinga. The BBC and VHS releases of this episode shortened the scenes of Pingu in the toy chest and his mother walking over to comfort him, removing all the instances of him shutting himself inside. To cover up the edit, a recycled shot from the new arrival of the telephone ringing is placed before the shot of mother comforting Pingu. This was likely done not to make it seem like Pingu was trying to harm himself. The scene where Pingu pretends to be sick was once cut in the USA because some viewers found it to be very inappropriate. I think that is a fair amount of episodes I've talked about today to do with the controversial episodes of the show. There are many other examples like Pingu's Admirer, where there was a minor controversy at the end of the episode because a sign had seemed to be promoting both communism and Soviet Union. It was also written in Russian. However, the episode did not get a prompt banned, but besides all that, those are some of the banned and censored episodes of Pingu from the franchise. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.